You've got only months left of this year, but that's more than enough time to change your life. How do I know? Because I did it. And it started with one thing, and you're not gonna like it. I went from broke, heartbroken, sick, crying on the floor of my shower, to healing my body, my heart, traveling abroad, and building a life I never imagined could be possible for me. But it didn't happen overnight. It took me years because I didn't have a roadmap. So if I had to do it all over again, I'd follow the exact 5 steps that I'm going to walk you through in this video. This is the 90-day version of the blueprint that changed my life. There's a lot more to the story, but the breaking point was about 5 years ago when I found myself crying on the floor of a shower in an empty apartment at 3 in the morning. I had just left a 9-year relationship, I was counting my last pennies, and I was going through several health scares when I moved into that new apartment. It was unfurnished because I had no more money, even though I had a job, but obviously unfulfilling and not well paid. And I was sleeping on a borrowed mattress on the floor. And it was only 5 days into this new stage of my life, and I got COVID. I'd woken up about 3 a.m., feverish, and I was so weak, I just couldn't stand up from the floor. So I would crawl to the bathroom, sit in the shower, try to get my fever down, and then crawl right back to my mattress. I was broke, heartbroken, sick, just tired in every aspect of my life. In that moment, in that shower, very dark thoughts crossed my mind. There's nothing left. I have nothing left to fight, to give, to get up for. I was nowhere near what I thought I would be by my 30s, which was living an abundant life, doing a job I loved, being financially free, in a beautiful relationship, even having a family, just basically enjoying life, living my best life. That night, I was feeling particularly miserable. I mean, can you blame me? And one instant, I just thought, nothing else can happen to me right now that can hurt me. And then, and I know some of you are gonna drop off the moment I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It became a choice. The one thing that changed my life was a decision. Making a decision. It was no longer a wish or even a desire for manifestation. Not even a goal, just a decision. There is changing my life or nothing. It felt like a Tony Robbins intervention, but it was 5 seconds under a cold shower that cleared my head enough. We have this conditionality so ingrained. I will feel blank when I get blank. You spend so many years in pain than realizing that it was just about you making a choice. It was up to you. It was always up to me. That can be a harsh feeling. Within the next year, I met someone. I traveled for some time. I got a new job that paid me 5 times what I was making. I even healed my body. My doctor approved me being taken off my heart medication. I lost the weight that I had gained, and that also impacted positively on the health of my liver. Now that I've been studying Joe Dispenza's work, it's easy to see in hindsight that my body was just mirroring everything else in my life. My heartbreak, my job, my mindset. It wasn't just one thing falling apart, it was all connected. And when you only see snapshots, it does look like miracles. It still feels like a miracle to me. Everything goes back to that night. There was no more wishing for things to change. It was just me deciding that I was going to create a new life, the one that I had always wanted. And I want to share my method to this madness, how I made that happen, and how you can change your life in the next 90 days and manifest a dream life for yourself. Number one is doing a life audit. If you're not happy where you are right now, make a list of the things that are not how you want them to be by now. And I don't want you to question God or the universe like, oh, how worse can things get? Because trust me, they can and they will get worse if you ask. But you need to choose your rock bottom. And for me, it was being sick and lonely in an empty apartment. Heartbroken, nothing left in my pockets or in my bank account, and a very unfulfilling job that I dreaded to wake up to every morning. Could things have been worse for me? For sure. I could have not even been in an empty apartment. I could have been sleeping under a bridge. I could have been sleeping in my car. I could have had much worse diseases than just COVID and being feverish for 5 days. My heart condition and my liver issues that were fortunately not fatal. I am still here. I could have been bedridden in a hospital bed. So it's not about lamenting yourself. It's about sitting down and being, okay, this is not what I want. We know what we don't want. And from there, we can compare darkness to light. We can think, well, what is the opposite of what I don't want? And let me just open up this little parenthesis because I want to address the timeline. A lot of things can change in 90 days. I don't want you to even fix on the calendar because even though manifestation is instant, the universe is working backstage. The gears are turning for you to get your desire. And you might not see changes happening initially, but they are happening, and you just need to trust the process because the more you check, the less you will move forward. And the moment you stop checking and keep persisting and trusting the universe, not checking the 3D for proof, I promise you, the sooner things will just unfold in such a natural way, such a seamless flow that will truly feel like a miracle. So I have 2 tips for you. The second one is very important. Bear with me. Number 1, journal. It is very important that you start journaling just as a witness to what is going on and what is happening right now, what you think it's happening. Could be daily, it could be just once a week, but always as the witness. Remove yourself from the situation. You're not a victim, you're just witnessing the 3D. Because I assure you, in 90 days from now, when you go back to the journal, everything is gonna make sense. Everything you wrote down, everything you noticed, you're gonna think, oh, that's why that happened that way. When you start asking yourself, is this the bridge of events? Is this birds before landing? Yes, no, maybe. You will come to find out after. Tip number 2, the important one, like the video. I mean it, your future self will thank you. All right, now that we're aligned, let's keep going. Step number 2 is gaining clarity. Make a list in your journal of the things you do want. What would your ideal dream life would be like? First, write everything down. But if you're in a state like I was, you would probably want to change every aspect of your life. And it feels a little bit overwhelming. So after we write everything down to the last detail, relationships, money, health, each aspect of your life, I want you to choose just one area to be the main focus for these 90 days. Maybe you can pinpoint 2 smaller-ish desires from different areas that you want to work on towards slightly, but without pressure. Step 3, the why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want the things that you want? Because the answer to that question is a big part of what's keeping you stuck. When we are trying to manifest something, is because of how we think it's going to make us feel when we have it. But spoiler alert, objects or people cannot make us feel any different. This will start to show up in your block, especially when people are trying to manifest money, for example, and it shows up in them saying, money makes you evil. Money is the root of all problems. People with money are bad people. And no, money is just an amplifier. Money does not control you. Whoever you are now, you're going to be the same person with more or with less money. There is bad people with no money. There is good people with lots of money. What I'm trying to say is, why do you want the money? What is money going to give you? If you're trying to manifest a specific person, why do you want your SP? What is your SP going to give you? Because feeling lonely, I can tell you, I was in a relationship for 9 years and I was still feeling very alone and feeling like I had to carry everything by myself. So having a person next to you does not make a difference. So the question of why should be, what do I think I'm getting out of manifesting blank? You might think, well, if I had the amount of money, I would feel secure. No, you won't. Because the moment you have that money in your bank account, you're going to be scared of losing it, of making a bad investment decision. So you need to create that feeling of security for yourself now. Step 4, the cleanse. Yes, I'm going to talk environment. Many of us still think that manifestation is just thinking nice thoughts, but even Marie Kondo or Marie Diamond teach us about making space, physical space in our homes for new things to come. And yet we all struggle with this one. But you've heard it before, and I've been there. When you're depressed, when your anxiety hits the roof, the first thing to go is self care. And the first thing that shows up is neglect, both your body and your environment. You haven't washed your hair in 3 days, you're too tired to do the dishes, so those also start to pile up. You haven't touched a broom in weeks. You might be collecting bags from the takeout because, let's be honest, you're not cooking and you're just eating nasty comfort food. And this is my next point because it's a win-win situation. I'm gonna tackle step 5 in a second, but think about this. If you were already the person that you want to be, if you were already the person that has everything that you desire, you would already have your things together. And that also manifests in having a life and a home that is put together. So, in a backwards way, having your life together, your house together in order, it's already putting you in that persona. Because let's be honest, if you wake up and the house is a mess and you haven't washed your hair in days and the dishes are piled up in the sink, you're already feeling behind. You're already feeling anxious. So why not start there and work backwards? And that takes me to step number 5, which is embodiment or identity. And I recently heard it as reputation, which I think it's amusing. How would you act if you were already that person? If you are already sharing the life with the person of your dreams, you wouldn't be complaining how lonely and miserable you are. You would be enjoying your time alone because you already know that you can also enjoy your time with them. If you already had the money, and I'm not telling you to overspend or use your credit cards, but at least you wouldn't be dreading paying the bills and you wouldn't be constantly comparing yourself financially to others. Let me share this example with you. I still take my dog to the park, and that is still going to happen if I have $0 in my bank account or $1,000,000 in my bank account. So, how would I walk and take my dog to the park if I'm already a millionaire? And it doesn't mean I need to go spend the money or buy an expensive brunch or buy new stuff along the way. It's just in the way that I carry myself. If you already had your dream body and you're already in your healthy weight, you wouldn't be struggling to diet. You wouldn't be dreading going to the gym. You would just naturally be the person that is keeping up with their healthy meals, that enjoys having an active lifestyle, whatever that means to you. It doesn't have to be weightlifting. It could be just going for a hike, could be rock climbing, could be taking a Zumba class. If you were already the person who's mastering their mindset and manifesting their best life, you would already be subscribed to my channel, just saying. So what is our game plan? The actions that you're going to take towards that one goal that you chose, that is devoted, inspired action. Once again, if you're manifesting a specific person, I'm not telling you to text them or call them. If you're manifesting money, I'm not telling you, go get a second job, go start a side hustle. I just mean going back to that embodiment work. What would you do if you were already that person? If you're manifesting physical change, yes, you might need to work out. Maybe you need to diet. But if you were already the version of you who has that physical appearance, you would already naturally be physically active and you would not be dieting. You would just be continuing with your healthy eating habits. What would be the normal, everyday way that you eat or exercise? It wouldn't be like, oh, I have to go to the gym. You would think, I love being active. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a hike in the forest. I'm gonna go for a swim next week. I'm gonna start tennis lessons. And I wanna say this to you. This is just a sprint for you to analyze and take notes at the end of the 90 days or like January 1st, whenever you feel like doing your next year goals. Because back to the embodiment, you're not gonna just achieve whatever you're manifesting in the 90 days and then on day 91 just forget about it. That is going to become the new you. you're gonna keep going. There is always more things, new things, even the things that you have manifested and you want to keep. So, really take the time to learn how to be that person, that version of you, because this is not just a quick fix and an instant manifestation. It's about being able to hold what you've manifested and keep it forever. These are just the first 90 days of the rest of your new life. So, decide, become, and begin. And manifest a dream life for yourself. How I made that happen, we can start asking, well, what is the. Why are there so many noises right now?